Hello guys and girls out there, wherever you are. Welcome to another totally random video. And yes, today's video is finally another mini disc related video because I want to show you another mini disc deck. And I know some of you are probably thinking, why? Why did you get another deck? I mean, it's already the fourth mini disc deck in probably just as many years, but yeah, let me just clarify something. First of all, I don't collect those decks. I always sell the one that I have in order to replace it with another one. And the second thing is I would never get a mini disc deck just for the sake of it, just to have it. It always needs to offer me some kind of an improvement over the previous one. And this one offers me, well, quite a few interesting improvements. So the deck that I got is the SONY MDS-JE640. And this is it. So it's a really nice deck. I'm really loving it. And I just want to show you what it can do and tell you about the features, why I decided to replace the other one that I already had. I think it was the JE530 with this deck. Well, it is a straightforward deck. It's nothing too special, as you can see. But it is still a really nice upgrade for me. So let's just talk about the basic functions that you can see right here. Well, this is pretty much self-explaining. So menu, yes, no, clear, enter. You can push this button to enter, play mode, level, display, character. The interesting thing is rec mode and input are buttons. On the other one it used to be a switch. So you could switch around between the input. So pretty nice. And over this side, of course, on, off, timer, rec and play. Headphone output still sounds terrible, like pretty much all the decks. Volume control. And then we already have the main reason why I decided to get this deck. The keyboard. Yes, it has a PS2 port, so I can plug in any PS2 keyboard. And I have to say something, there are probably not this many people out there who still own a PS2 keyboard. So you probably think, I might as well just use my USB keyboard and just get one of those USB PS2 adapters. But you have to be really careful because most of the times those adapters don't work with a real USB keyboard. It works with some USB keyboards, from an earlier time, especially keyboards that were sent with those adapters. But if you purchase a keyboard today, it's a pure USB keyboard and the adapter won't work because it's just some kind of a passive adapter or whatever. But we will get into all this later. And yeah, pitch control, SF edit and time. And as you can tell, it also has 8-track DSP type R, which is the best standard 8-track version that you can get. And it also has 8-track 3. So it allows me to play and record mini discs in long play, but I probably won't use it that often. And I really have to say even though I really love the USB, I love the keyboard port, I have to say I wouldn't have got this deck if it wouldn't have been 8-track DSP Type R. I really have to say it. If it would have been, I don't know, 8-track 4.5 or something like this, no, I wouldn't have got it, because sound quality is still a little bit more important than the convenience of being able to use a keyboard to title my tracks. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. So let's just fire this baby up. So the display looks pretty much the same as the display on the 530, and the menu is also pretty much identical. So we have the setup menu. Let's go at the beginning. So track mark, sync. Well, you know that if you use an optical cable and you record something from a CD player, it sets the track marks automatically and all that kind of stuff. Why is it set up 2? Why isn't there a 1? I don't know. Then LST, well, when it should set a track mark. So if it's over 50 dB, it sets a track mark, but if it's under 50 dB or minus 50 dB, it doesn't set one. Auto off. Well, this tells you how the deck behaves if you play a mini disc. So space means that it is doing a little pause between each track if you listen to a mini disc. And pause means that after a song is done, after the song is over, the deck goes into pause mode. But we will keep it at this. What else have we got? Well, smart space, obviously. Pitch, or no, this is peak hold, I believe. So if you record something or if you play a mini disc, you have the VU meter, and when I have it turned on, the peak hold, then it always stays at the maximum peak, at the maximum loudness. I don't know why you would use something like this, because it only shows you something, it doesn't really do something. Then fade in, fade out, then analog in, coax and optical, the volumes, analog out, sleep timer, of course, sleep on off, keyboard, and LP stamp. So keyboard is something very interesting, since we can connect a keyboard. So here you can set what kind of a keyboard layout you have. If you have a Japanese keyboard or a US keyboard. Unfortunately, I have a European keyboard, so I think the Japanese one is still different. So, but I'm not really sure. And assign means that you can change the buttons of the keyboard if they don't match with the setting in the deck. So let's say I have a European keyboard, so this means obviously Y and Z are mixed. So I can go into this menu and search for whatever I want to change. And it shows you what is the default setting and what has been set by the user. So you just push OK, then you push the button that you want it to be, and that's it. So it's pretty nice, pretty simple. But I love it that you have the ability to assign the keys. And then we have the LP stamp. I don't know why it's turned on. I think I turned it off. It means that it automatically puts LP at the beginning of the track, at the title, if you record something in long play, so that you know, oh, this has been recorded in long play. But I also don't really need that stamp. So that's already the menu. Now let's go to some other functions that we have, because it's really interesting. So I think since we have just, or I have just showed you how to assign the keyboard, it would be really nice if I would also show you how it works. So you just plug it in. You can plug it in anytime you want. And it's pretty fast. It feels kind of a little bit flimsy, but it's also pretty fast. I like it a little bit more if there is a little bit of pressure. It feels more solid. So if I want to type in something, the first thing you have to know, you just have to push enter. And then you are already in the track name menu, or whatever you call it. The first thing you need to know, everything is capital letters. So if I type something, it's all capital letters. But if I would hold this button and write, then it's small letters. So that's a little bit confusing, but if you push the caps lock, you see how it's changing between capital letters and small letters, and then you can type, and if you push this, then of course it makes capital letters or big letters, and if you type just like that, it makes small ones. So that's really easy, really convenient. So you see how easy it works, and if I push enter, that's it. So it's pretty easy, and I love it. I love it so much, especially now that I'm re-recording all of my vinyl records again, since I got the tube phono preamp and a better cartridge for my record player. I just love doing this, but there is a lot more that you can do. You can actually also use the keyboard to edit your tracks. I still haven't figured out how exactly I can move through the menu. So like those buttons. Oh, okay, now I know it. F10 and F11. So you can actually use the keyboard to, well, use your deck. And we can also use F1, F2 and F3 to play. And go to pause and stop. Very cool, very easy. And you can also use F10 and F11 to skip through tracks. So if we play one, we're now at track 1. So now we're at track 2. I can also type in track 2. Piece of cake. I just love doing it. It's just awesome. It's awesome. So yeah, that's how the keyboard works. But there is another function that was completely new to me, and I want to show you what it is. So the function that is completely new to me is this one right here, SF Added. Now SF stands for scale factor, and what this function does, it allows me to change the rack volume of a finished recorded track, or of a recorded track. So instead of just changing the rack volume before or while I'm recording a song, I can take any mini disc and change the loudness of the tracks, basically. So if you have a bunch of tracks that have been recorded, and you will notice that one track is a little bit more quiet than the other track, You push SF edit, track level, then you select the track of which you want to change the level, and then you push yes, and then you can change the volume up or down. Maximum 12 dB down, 12 dB up, and then you push yes again so that it will start. Unfortunately, this function doesn't work on this deck for some reason. It starts writing or re-recording the song with the new scale factor or with the new level, but yeah, then there is a point where it just gets stuck. Let's say it gets stuck at 33%, and then it tries to do something, but it just doesn't succeed no matter how long I wait. So actually it's supposed to record the new song over the original song. But I don't know, for some reason this doesn't seem to work. It always gets stuck. But if it would work, if it works, it would be a nice function, but I still probably wouldn't be using it that often. But another thing that I find a little bit more useful, because there is a small chance that I'm going to use it every now and then, is the fact that scale factor actually also allows me to add a fader to already recorded songs. With the other deck, if I have songs that ended very abrupt and I want to add a fader at the end of the song so that it nicely fades out, I would have to know how long the song is so that I can start the fader at the right point while I'm recording the song. Well, now I don't have to do this anymore. Now I can add a fader after the song has already been recorded. So let's say I want to fade out song number, I don't know, song number 2. So fade out and song number 2. I can change the length of the fader. Let's just stay at 5. Why not? Yes. And that's the thing that it would also do if you change the rack level, but then it always gets stuck. But here it works. And there is another thing that I have noticed. I can't play the mini disc right now, even though it's finished. I can't play it. I have to eject the disc first, and then I can play it. So even though it doesn't do any talk writing or whatsoever, it still won't allow me to. So let's see if it. And there is the fader, and the next song starts. So even though it doesn't do any talk writing or anything, it still doesn't play the song for some reason. I push play, but it does nothing. So I have to eject the disc, and then it works. I hope I haven't forgot anything. I mean, anything else is pretty self-explaining and just the way it's been on the MDS-JE640. So if you want to see more, go check out this video. Also the remote control, pretty basic, pretty standard remote control. Also I like the fact that there is a little light, a little indicator, so if I change the rack mode to long play, this little indicator lights up. but if it's mono, then of course it doesn't show that. I mean, it shows me right here, but the indicator is only for long play. So if you record in long play, or if you play a mini disc that has been recorded in long play, then you have this little indicator. For those people who are not really familiar with long play, of course it reduces the quality of the music in order to get more music on one disc. LP2 allows me to record twice as much on a mini disc as in standard SP mode. So it's basically the same thing like mono, only that it's stereo. So if you have an 80-minute disc, I can now record 160 minutes, but in stereo. And LP4 is twice as much as LP2. So I think 320, something like that, if it's an 80-minute mini disc. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I have to say, I paid a little bit more for this deck than I did for all my other decks, but you know, that's just the way it is. The prices, they seem to go up for those mini disc devices, and yeah, but it's a nice deck. And I mean, the PS2 port is definitely worth every penny that I paid for it. I mean, I didn't pay too much, but still more than for the other decks. So it's not just 35 or 50 bucks, but in my opinion, it was worth it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, whatever you like, and I guess I'll see you in the next totally random video. Bye.